All right, so welcome everybody to Uplevel Your Receiving. How does it get any better than this? So if you have questions as we go along, you can either raise your hand, there's some button somewhere, or you're welcome just to unmute and talk to us. And otherwise, we'll just have you stay on mute so that you can we can have a really clear line while we're chatting. How does it get any better? All right, so I want to talk about something before we go to questions. It's something that's fairly new in Access, and it's all about definitions and how much it limits us when we define. And I've really been looking at that from the place of receiving. Because one of the things that a lot of people say to me in sessions or classes, or it's like they just say, well, I don't receive, so blah, blah, blah. And usually when somebody says that to me, it feels off because we're receiving. Like, we all have a level of receiving. Otherwise, we probably couldn't even take a breath. So there is a level of receiving for each one of us. And can we up-level it? Absolutely, that's what we're here to do. But we all receive to some level. So the minute that we go to even the definition of what receiving is or isn't, or should be, or can't be, or has to be, or needs to be, or if I was receiving, then I would have $1 million, or whatever, all of those things are definitions. And the minute that we define receiving, or we define our level of receiving, is when we actually limit it. So everything that just brought up, you guys destroy and uncreate it all, return to sender with consciousness. Right, wrong, good, bad, online, BIPOC, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And if anybody isn't familiar with the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement, you can go to theclearingstatement.com for more information. It basically works like a magic wand. When I ask a question, whether it's of somebody in particular or just generally like I did, it brings up a bunch of energy, and it's that energy that we want to dissipate. It's that energy that we want to destroy and uncreate. So we just run the clearing statement to do that. So what definitions are you using to create the lack of infinite receiving you are choosing? Everything that is, we destroy and uncreate it all, return to sender with consciousness. Right, wrong, good, bad, online, BIPOC, shorts, boys, and beyonds. How many definitions are you using to create the lack of infinite receiving you are choosing? Everything that is, we destroy and uncreate it all and return it to sender with consciousness. Right, wrong, good, bad, online, BIPOC, shorts, boys, and beyonds. What have you defined as necessary to receive infinitely? Everything that is, we destroy and uncreate all times a godzillion. All right, wrong, good, bad, online, BIPOC, shorts, boys, and beyonds. What definitions are you so committed to holding on to and maintaining that you refuse to go beyond what everyone else is willing to receive? Everything that brings up, we destroy and uncreate it all, return to sender with consciousness. Right, wrong, good, bad, online, BIPOC, shorts, boys, and beyonds. What definitions are you using to create the lack of $100 million in your bank account are you choosing? Everything that is, we destroy and uncreate all times a godzillion. Right, wrong, good, bad, online, BIPOC, shorts, boys, and beyonds. What definitions are you using to create the lack of delicious, orgasmic yumminess are you choosing? Everything that is, we destroy and uncreate all times a godzillion. Right, wrong, good, bad, online, BIPOC, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So the less that we define anything, the more that we will actually receive, because we don't have a definition of it. So if you think of even your paycheck, let's say you work for somebody else, a lot of people define their paycheck as a certain amount every second Friday. So they've got that definition of that's how money comes to them. The universe has 5 billion godzillion ways that it would love to gift that person money, but by their definition of money only shows up every second Friday through my employer, it limits what's actually possible. So look at all of that. Look at the area that you'd like to change the most in terms of receiving. You know, whether it's sex, whether it's money, whether it's relationships, whether it's body, whatever it might be. Look at the area that you'd just really love to change the most. And get a sense of how many definitions you have about that area, about how it relates to you, about how you relate to it, about what it should be, about what it shouldn't be, about what it can't be, what it needs to be, what it's supposed to be. Everything that is. On 3, will you just start and create it all? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Right, wrong, good, bad, online, BIPOC, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And now kind of tap back into that same area and get a sense of what the receiving in that area would be like for you if there wasn't a definition, like if you didn't have any definitions. Yeah, because without those definitions, there's total space. And with total space, there's total possibilities. So everything that brings up, we discern and create it all, return it to sender with consciousness. Right, wrong, good, bad, online, BIPOC, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Whose lies, what lies, and how many beingnesses are you using to create the lack of infinite receiving you are choosing? Everything that is, we discern and create it all, return to sender with consciousness. Right, wrong, good, bad, online, BIPOC, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And how many jails are you using to create the dominance of E equals MC squared, creating the comfortable distance between you and infinite receiving are you choosing? Everything that is, we discern and create all times a godzillion. Right, wrong, good, bad, online, BIPOC, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So if you never defined yourself as somebody who didn't receive again, ever again, how much more could you receive? Everything that is, we discern and create all times a godzillion. Right, wrong, good, bad, online, BIPOC, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Alan says he can't even hear most of what I'm saying. Blah, 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 blah. Her mouth is moving, but nothing is coming out. Yes. So I am going to go. There was a question in the group that I will cover, and then you guys can ask your questions. And it doesn't have to be about definitions either. It's just, this is really about receiving, but it was something that was really, I was really looking at it with all of the pieces of, you know, what I defined as receiving and what my life would look like if I did receive, and, you know, all of that stuff. And once I started looking at how much I was defining receiving, which was actually limiting the receiving. So everywhere you've been defining receiving so you could limit receiving, we just start and create it all, return to sender with consciousness. Whew. Right, wrong, good, bad, online, BIPOC, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Okay, so Carrie asks, something I heard you mention recently about being in your body in order to receive. Can we talk more about that tomorrow? I'm out of my body more than in. That's how I escape this reality. However, my sweet body requires stuff from this reality. How can I keep myself in my body longer so I can receive bigger? So, Carrie, what I would look at with that, and I know you're not on live, so if you have follow-up questions, you can post it in the group. Just make sure to tag me in it. And that's the Step the Fuck Up Facebook group, guys. If you're not in there, you would have a link to it in one of the emails. Is what have you decided about this reality that you need to escape from it? And how many definitions do you have of this reality that you need to escape from it? Whew. Everything that is, we discern and create it all, return to sender with consciousness. Right, wrong, good, bad, online, BIPOC, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And everywhere you're playing victim with this reality, everywhere this reality has your puppet strings, everywhere this reality has power over you, will you discern and create all that times a godzillion? Right, wrong, good, bad, online, BIPOC, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And what is the value of not being in your body? Like, what is that doing for you? I know you said escaping this reality, and I'm wondering if there's anything else. So truth, what is the value of not being present in your body? So everything that is, we destroy and uncreate all times a godzillion. Right, wrong, good, bad, online, papak, shorts, boys, meons. And truth, who are you being when you're not willing to be present in your body? Right, wrong, good, bad, online, papak, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Whose lies, what lies, and how many beingnesses are you using to create the never being in your body are you choosing? Everything that is, we destroy and uncreate all times a godzillion. Right, wrong, good, bad, online, papak, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And how many definitions are you using to create the lack of being present in your body are you choosing? Everything that is, we destroy and uncreate all times a godzillion. Right, wrong, good, bad, online, papak, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And then the other thing I would look at with that piece, Carrie, is like, what are you refusing to be that if you would be it, would allow you to be present in your body 24/7? Everything that just brought up, we destroy and uncreate all times a godzillion. Right, wrong, good, bad, online, papak, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And her other question, she says also about pulling out. So she's talking about my radio show last week. I'm getting leads, but no buyers in my new business. I'd like to receive a lot more leads, buyers, clients, business partners, and lots of checks in the mail. And she has in brackets, that's how I get paid. Can you talk more about pulling out, checking out? When I'm not getting the results I would like, am I just being a superior bitch to the universe or just not asking big enough? Well, a couple of things with that. So, with what you're doing in terms of business and looking for more leads, buyers, clients, all of that, what I always look at is what action are you taking? Like, yes, of course, it's about asking and about receiving, and it's also about taking action. So you're getting the leads, so then what? Are you following up with them? Do you have, steps that you take from that? And that's what I would look at in one part is what action are you taking? And then look at, again, same as the first question, like what's the value? What's the value of not being present in your business? What's the value of creating leads but not paychecks? Like that question, and you guys, if you've listened to my stuff, and I know you have, Carrie, you hear me ask it a lot, what is the value? Because it truly is, like, what is the value? Once you get what that is, and it never makes sense, it never will make sense, that's okay. It's like, what is the value of creating that? Because once you get that value, it changes everything. So everything that brings up, we destroy and uncreate it all, return to center with consciousness. Right, wrong, good, bad, all 9, pot, pock, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And if you were, so this may or may not have, you may not have something kind of pop in that moment, but if you were willing to receive, or not if you were willing, sorry, if you did start to receive the clients, the paychecks, all of that you're asking for, what would happen? So everything that brings up, will you destroy and uncreate it all, return to center with consciousness. Right, wrong, good, bad, all 9, papak, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And it's not that there's always an awareness with that, but sometimes there is. Because sometimes we've defined that if we receive a lot of money in business, then we have to give our siblings half of it, or we have to give it away to somebody, or we have to hide it, or we have to pay too much in taxes. Like, we have often a lot of crazy that goes along with that. So when we're willing to ask that, so if I did get what I'm asking for, what would happen? And just allow your kind of your head to go wherever. And it might be, oh, it would just be so great. Cool, that's fine. But also it might be, oh my God, then I would have to hide it. Oh my God, my husband would be so mad because then I would be bringing in more than him. Or like, there's so many things that could come up. And all you want to do with that is just destroy and uncreate it. Like, just destroy and uncreate it. It's probably not true anyway, and it may be, but still destroy and uncreate it so it doesn't have power over you. So try those things out, Carrie. And again, if you have further questions, you can post in the group. And Alan says, it's like I'm defining receiving so that I can cognitively understand how to receive and know when I'm receiving and when I'm not, which I know limits what I can receive with ease. And probably exhausting. Yeah, he shakes his head, yes. So everything that is, all of those definitions around receivings to ensure that you don't receive everything you could receive with ease and joy and glory. We just try and uncreate all that and return it to sender with consciousness. Right, wrong, good, bad, online, puck, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And I mean, really, how out of control would we have to be to not define receiving? Whew, yeah. So anything that doesn't allow you to be that out of control, we destroy and uncreate it all, return to sender with consciousness. Right, wrong, good, bad, online, puck, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And what energy, space, and consciousness can you in your body be to be out of control, out of definition, out of limitation, out of form, structure, significance, out of concentricities, and out of anything else that I'm missing for all eternity. Anything that doesn't allow that, will you guys destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, online, puck, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Yeah. And then it really isn't about like clearing the crazy about not receiving. It's really about asking, what would it take to receive even more? Because and some of you might have seen, I did a Facebook Live about receiving and how it related to eating. And it was an old manual. It was from 2013 when Gary was facilitating a level 3, which is now a choice of possibilities. And in it, it's talked about when we eat until we're full, like really full, that is usually a way to ensure we don't receive, because it stops us from receiving. It kind of fills us up, basically. And how, for myself, like I was like, wow, I could really see where, especially the day that I read it, the day before, I was looking to eat like that. I was looking to get full. And how, when I was talking to my friend about it, her and I were kind of like, oh, well, what causes that? And what, we had all of this kind of trying to figure out the problem instead of, and finally I went, wait, we don't have to figure out what the problem is. We just ask, what would it take to receive more here? Because that's ultimately what we would like. What would it take to receive more here? Not why am I not receiving? Dane did a Facebook Live a few months ago about, don't ask why, just pod and pock the lie. Because as soon as we try to figure out the why, we're trying to define it. So everything that is, we destroy and uncreate all times a godzillion. Right, wrong, good, bad, online, puck, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Sorry, guys, there is a gal who is having a hard time getting in. Yes, trying to figure out the problem of receiving. Oh my fucking God. No problems, just possibilities. Yeah, so everywhere that we've been looking for the problem, trying to figure out the problem, knowing that once we get the problem fixed, then we'll have the answer, just to start and uncreate all that and return it to sender with consciousness. Right, wrong, good, bad, online, puck, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Manisha says, I have an idea and have leads, however, I am somehow blocking it. I am contracting for some reason, I am contracting for some reason, even when I took action and got people interested. I start feeling like a fraud, like I'm not good enough. So who are you being, Manisha? And you're certainly welcome to unmute and talk.
Hi, Glenise.
Hi, honey.
Hi. First of all, can I thank you? I love your radio shows. They really uplift me when I'm feeling low. So, and it's always at the right time it comes in. So, thank you.
Cool. You're welcome.
I've just got an idea. It's a wonderful idea, and it'll be a contribution to people's bodies. And I've got a lot of ideas where I could go with it, and then all of a sudden I had people interested in it, and then I just feel, I don't know, see my stomach's contracting. I don't feel sick, like I feel like I'm a fraud, like I know what I'm going to do, but like I'm not feeling good enough.
Okay.
And I think I may have, I don't know, picked up projections from people as well, because it's how they perceive me and how they look at me. But yeah, so I'd like to up level my receiving, because it's been getting greater. Sometimes I'm getting things without even asking. Universe is brilliant, but this is one part where I'm struggling. Yeah.
So who are you being with that?
I don't know, but it's not me.
Okay. So is there anybody that you saw growing up that was like that?
Parents, mum, dad, maybe. Yeah.
Okay. So everything that is, we destroy and create it all, return to center with consciousness.
Oh God, I'm shaking. Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, online, epoch, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And if you didn't mimic them, what would happen?
My life would be greater. It'd become big.
So everywhere you haven't been willing for your life to be greater, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Oh, yes.
Whew. Right, wrong, good, bad, online, epoch, shorts, boys, and beyonds. What have you decided would happen if your life was greater?
Family disconnection. Like I would know, I'd be so far away. I wouldn't be associated anymore. I don't know. Yeah, that.
Okay. So everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate it all, return to sender with consciousness?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, online, epoch, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And anywhere you're not willing to be disconnected from your family, will you destroy and uncreate all that?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, online, epoch, shorts, boys, and beyonds.
Oh, that just got lighter. Thank you.
Cool. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah. And there is a fraud patrol clearing that I don't have in front of me, but I'll include it in the email. I have it also recorded as just a clearing on its own, and I'll include the link to the radio show in case you haven't listened to it, because that sometimes is when the energy of fraud comes up. Sometimes having that other information can contribute. So I'll include it in the email for anybody else who would like it. But yeah, just in case.
Okay, grateful. Thank you, Glenise.
Welcome. You're welcome. Yeah. Yeah, and all of the people's receiving level that you're mimicking, to ensure that you stay connected to them, that you stay close to them, that you stay the same as them, so that you have problems to talk about with them. Will you destroy and uncreate all that and return it to sender with consciousness?
Yes.
Whew. Right, wrong, good, bad, all night, fuck, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Cool.
I've got the sweats. I've gone hot. I've gone really hot. My body's just burning. Wow.
Okay. That is awesome. Cool.
Okay.
All right. Is that all the questions you have?
I think so. Thank you. Yes.
You're welcome. All right, Miss Carrie, I don't think I unmuted you though. Are you there, Miss Carrie?
I am. So,
Hi.
hi, I'm outside. Is it okay for sound?
Of course.
Okay, wonderful. So something popped for me for about receiving, that I'm, I guess, doing with my body is I will lose a little bit of weight. I will get some attention. And then it's like, my attitude is like, fuck you. If you don't like me fat, then don't talk to me. And then I pack the weight on again as sort of and would like to undo that. Like receive the compliments, because the weight has nothing to do with anybody but me, you know?
So how many definitions do you have of why you gain weight? All of those?
One for sure. Yeah, sorry. All those, yes.
All of those?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, online, puck, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So what is the value of gaining the weight when you lose it?
Distraction, keeping myself where I am, then it's kind of like a secular thing to keep, ruminating on.
Yeah. So everything that is, we just start on credit all times a godzillion?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, online, puck, shorts, boys, and beyonds.
And of course the hiding piece, which is so cliche, I want to like actually smack myself.
And what is it really?
Comfortable.
So who's comfortable?
Not mine. Holy fuck. Okay, that was easy and I don't have the button handy, sorry.
Oh, damn it.
Damn it. Anyway, awesome.
Yeah. So all of the people that it's comfortable for you to have extra weight, that you're validating their reality, you're making sure they're comfortable. We just destroy and create all that and return it to center with consciousness.
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, online, box, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And this is something, you guys, I mean, it can be in a million different ways. It doesn't have to be just weight. It can be how you look. It can be your bank balance. It can be how much fun you have. It can be how magical you are. It can be how great your business is or how great your career is, or like you can actually have more caring for other people, that you would stop yourself from what you would like to create based on that more caring for them than you care for you. So everywhere that you haven't been willing to receive the caring that you gift others for yourself, will you destroy and create all that and return it to sender with consciousness?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, online, papak, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And the really funny thing is, I mean, this reality tells us that that's caring, but it's actually not. That is actually the definition, if we're going to define something, of uncaring. Because if you truly cared about somebody, wouldn't you rather show them what was possible instead of validating the reality that something is impossible? That's caring. To me, caring is being who you be, and that will, just by being that, will show people what's possible, which is everything. And yes, there will be people who want to stop you or don't want you to do that. And we've somehow then gone, oh, well, then it's nice of me if I stop showing him how easy it is to lose weight, or how easy it is to have lots of money, or how easy it is to laugh all day long. I'll stop doing that for them because I care. Yeah. So everything that brings up for all of us, we destroy and uncreate it all, return to sender with consciousness.
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, online, fuck, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So everyone that you're putting that extra weight on for, Carrie, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, online, puck, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So when you think about it now, what comes up?
Oh, it just feels so much lighter.
Cool.
So much. Thank you.
Yes.
My second question was tied into that. I feel maybe like, so the busy thing, is that related as well? Like I will get busy, like create that, nice flow of everything. And then it's like, I'm like, whoa. And then I clear everything out, send everybody away. Like I'll create something, attract people, send everybody away, have a bit of peace. And I kind of do that over and over. Is that similar pattern for speaking of definitions?
Well, what have you decided as all of those people come close to you? What have you decided?
The word public just comes to my mind.
Okay. And so what is that?
Well, distraction.
But if you were public, like if more people.
Oh, if I was public? It requires like consistency, maybe. And that feels heavy to me.
So how many definitions are you using to create the lack of being public are you choosing? Everything that is turn and create all times a godzillion?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, online, puck, shorts, boys, and beyonds? Because what if you still get to choose?
Absolutely. And yeah, absolutely. 100%. And really, sorry.
What could you do different next time you create something, people start coming towards you, and your theme has been to then kind of get rid of everybody, but what could you choose different?
To engage, like follow through on it.
Yeah. And what is it about people that you're not willing to receive from them?
Like if the tiring thing comes up for me so much, so I would assume that I'm just taking stuff on, right? That's not my own.
Well, I wonder if it's more so, and I mean, it could be that, and how much are you not willing to receive from them? Because anytime we get tired doing something or being with people, it's because we've added a point of view, which is usually means we put up our barriers, so we're not willing to receive.
I'm so excited. It finally popped in my head before you said it. Barriers. I was like, yeah, sinking in finally. Okay, cool. Yep. Awesome. So just, barriers down when the awareness pops, barriers down.
Yeah.
Clear anything, like destroy and uncreate anything that's popping.
Yeah. And be really aware of that, because really, guys, I mean, if you're doing a job that you don't love, how quickly do you get exhausted? Compared to if you're doing a job that you absolutely love, you don't ever get exhausted because you love it. Your body might say, hey, it's time to take a break or go take a rest or something like that. That's different. But that exhausted feeling is because we're not receiving from whoever or whatever. And so you can have people who have totally different points of view about you. You can have people who hate you. You can have all sorts of people around you. And if you're willing to receive, you won't actually be exhausted. Even if it's receiving hatred wouldn't be exhausting because it's still receiving. But it's the minute we put the barrier up and say, well, they shouldn't hate me, or yeah, well, I get why they hate me because I've been horrible, or we either defending against it or we're aligning and agreeing, and that's going to create that exhaustion. So if you have people, you create that energy, then yeah, definitely continuously drop the barriers and continuously be aware of where you're pushing, where you're pulling, where you could just be being instead.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, who else has questions, guys? So Nicola says, the only time I'm not feeling exhausted at the moment is when I'm around my cat. Yes, yes. And most of us will receive much more from animals and from nature than we will from people and anything else. So it truly is the barriers down, barriers down, barriers down. All levels, layers, lifetimes, universes, barriers down, barriers down, barriers down. You know, there used to be a time, well, actually, I think one of the first times we spent an extended period of time in England was in 2002. And I wouldn't go on the tube in London. I wouldn't, barely left the hotel room. And then hubby actually had to remind me a few years ago that I was like that. But I had so many points of view that being around too many people was hard on me. I took on everybody's stuff. I didn't feel good. I, would feel so tired. I had all of this stuff about what it was like to be in a city, and then of course a city like London, that I had so many barriers and walls I couldn't even function. Yet now, when I don't have those barriers and walls, I'm willing to receive from everything. And sometimes I have to remind myself, sometimes if I see something on the street or there's a lot of traffic or something and I go to a point of view, it's like, wait, what if I could receive from this? Like, how much more could I even receive right now? And just totally changing it up compared to, the point of view from 2002 was, if I'm not at home by myself on my acreage with my cats, then I can't be me. And that's such a limiting point of view. So and those were all definitions. Too much traffic, too many people. I'm taking on people's energy because I'm so sensitive, whatever superiority I had. All of those were definitions. So all of the definitions you have stopping you from receiving everything that you could receive. You destroy and uncreate it all and return it to sender with consciousness. Right, wrong, good, bad, all night, the puck, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Mr. Allen, go ahead.
Sorry, multitasking. Well, there you go. That stops me receiving. So, without getting too graphic, I was aware of something recently about my body would struggle to receive something larger, and it kind of didn't, which surprised me. And then I set the limit to where that was. So I started asking questions about that, and there's still this kind of funky energy in lots of areas of my life that I was aware. I was asking questions about, okay, so where else have I decided I would struggle to receive that much? And I can't seem to get clarity on, is it a different choice? Is it something I'm hanging on to? Is it something I need to clear? Do you know what I mean? I'm trying to work it out, trying to define it. So I'd be interested to see where we can go with that to change it.
So truth, are there other areas where you're not willing to receive bigger?
Yeah.
Okay. So is that unwillingness to receive bigger yours?
Don't know. I can't even grasp that. No, it's a point of view that I've bought. I'm hearing my mother saying, don't give him too much. It will be too much for him to receive. I don't even think she was talking about me, but that's the wording I'm hearing in my head.
Okay.
It's almost like I've decided that it would be overwhelming, it would be too much, that there might be an obligation. Like, how much do we kind of put obligation on receiving? Oh, well, I've received that much. Have I given enough? And what does that mean they're going to ask of me in the future? And I wonder sometimes how aware I am of people who give to receive. And I've now labeled that as you have to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, so all of the definitions you have of giving and receiving and gifting and receiving and giving and taking and giving and receiving and giving and all of that, we just start and create it all, return to center with consciousness.
Yeah.
Right, wrong, good, bad, online, puck, shorts, boys, and beyonds.
And I'm aware as well of where I'm superior bitching my body and how much it is willing to receive in all sorts of ways in terms of food and stuff. Okay.
Yeah. So all of that, all of the ways that we've all defined what we can receive, how we can receive it, the only way it can show up, all of that. We just start and create all that, return to center with consciousness.
Yeah.
Right, wrong, good, bad, online, puck, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And the overwhelmed piece kind of popped too. So, and I think Carrie might have used that word too. So everywhere that you, in the past, where you did receive and became overwhelmed, will you just start and create all that and return to center of consciousness?
Yeah.
Right, wrong, good, bad, online, puck, shorts, boys, and beyonds.
Oops.
Because how much could you actually receive?
So there's a mosquito down my leg. Try to distract myself. You know I've increased my willingness to receive. I know I could break down every single barrier right now, and it's really uncomfortable. So it's like I've decided that I have to take, I can increase it that much. I can increase it that much, you know?
Yeah. So what, first thing that comes to mind, what would happen if you received everything you possibly could right now?
I'd have to be willing to, it's funny because I did a video about this afternoon. I'd have to be willing to lose everything.
Yeah.
And everything that I've defined myself as.
Mm-hmm. So all of those definitions that you've made significant, will you just turn and put them all? Consciousness? Right, wrong, good, bad, all beyond. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So for everybody, who or what aren't you willing to lose that is holding you in limitations with what you can receive? Everything that is, we just turn and create all times a godzillion. Right, wrong, good, bad, all night, puck, shorts, boys, beyonds. Who or what are you refusing to lose that is ensuring you don't receive everything you possibly could?
Wow.
Everything that is, we just turn and create all times a godzillion.
Yeah.
Right, wrong, good, bad, all night, puck, shorts, boys, and beyonds.
I'd have to be willing to let go of putting my receiving on automatic pilot. So the AI stuff, you know,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, so all of the
shit, how much of that is the, okay, yeah, all right. Sorry. Yeah, I got there.
Yes. All of the receiving that we have set on autoresponder and allowing it to be minimal, or actually by putting it on autoresponder, ensuring it's minimal. We just start and create all that and return it to sender with consciousness.
Yeah.
Right, wrong, good, bad, online, black shorts, boys, and beyonds.
Okay. Ooh, I'm sweating. Not very attractive.
It's quite the sweating group today.
It really is. And it's warm in England. You know, for us, it's 25 degrees. That's warm.
That is warm in England. Oh, yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you Glenys. That's created a lot more space, and I'll need to keep running those really very much so. Cool.
And it goes back to that question I was talking about earlier that as from what you were talking about, just really reiterates the contribution of asking a question, right? Like even before you make a phone call, or before you walk into a store, or before you get into your car, or before you have your meal, or before you have a sleep, or whatever it is, like how much more could I receive here? Because it'll take it out of that autoresponder. It'll take it out of, okay, well, the definitions of, okay, well, I'm with this person and they're always like this, so this is how much I can receive and this is how much I can give, and all of that computation that we maybe don't sit and do kind of cognitively before, but we do it. And then, because we'll always say, oh yeah, well, when I'm with that person, they're always like this, or, well, okay, I've got to go see grandma, but she's tough to be around. Like we have all of these definitions, which then we're sending out the projections of what that person is like, and then they are likely going to pick up that, and then it will be projected back to us because we're always right. Our points of view creates our reality. So the less points of view that we have, the more that we'll actually create. So everything that is, we destroy and uncreate it all, return it to sender with consciousness. Right, wrong, good, bad, online, puck, short squares, and beyonds. And any oaths, vows, commitments, contracts, promises, obligations, communities, fealties, anything that I haven't mentioned that you have to putting your receiving on autopilot, limiting your receiving, keeping your receiving the same, whatever it is, all of that energy. Will you revoke, recant, rescind, renounce, denounce, reclaim, destroy, and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, online, puck, shorts, boys, and beyonds.
Oh. Receding, receiving. Receding, receiving. Like where my brain was just hearing you saying receding.
Receding?
Yeah, like to get less than.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a misidentification going on there. Fuck.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, don't ever be sorry.
Whoops.
Well, and everywhere it was said to be receiving, but it was actually receding. Destroy and uncreate all that and return it to sender with consciousness.
Yeah.
Right, wrong, good, bad, online, puck, shorts, boys, and beyonds.
That's a bit like where the tax office kind of, in one hand, gives you this kind of, we're increasing your tax allowances to this, and then they put up a whole load of taxes over here. So actually the amount you're receiving is receding.
Right.
What am I aware of? Okay, cool. I'll shut up now. That's awesome. Thank you, Glenys.
It is, yeah. Yeah, and also anywhere that we've misidentified or misapplied receiving in any way, destroy and uncreate it all, return to center of consciousness. Right, wrong, good, bad, online, black, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And what definitions are you using to create the receiving you are choosing? Everything that is, we destroy and uncreate all times a godzillion. Right, wrong, good, bad, online, black, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And any demons that you've hired to ensure that you don't receive infinitely, will you return all of them from to whence they came? Return to whence you came, never to return for all eternity. Return to whence you came, never to return for all eternity. Return to whence you came, never to return for all eternity. Return to whence you came, never to return for all eternity. Return to whence you came, never to return for all eternity. Anything that doesn't allow that, right, wrong, good, bad, online, puck, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So when you guys think about receiving more, receiving infinitely, receiving with no barriers, what comes up? Oh, go ahead, Corley. You can unmute.
Well, I don't want to interrupt what you were saying, though.
That's fine, thank you.
Okay, so, I mean, about the receiving and the gifting, just a few minutes before, I was like, okay, I guess I am not even willing to gifting at some point, not knowing why. Though when I receive, I'm not receiving. I am not receiving currently enough money. Though when I receive, it's more about sexualness. Let's call it sexualness aspect. So I receive a lot of that, and I guess I give a lot of that. And when I am working, trying to create that training, it seems to be like, I don't know, like there is such a big wall or whatever it is. I can't create it. I don't succeed. I'm not succeeding yet. And I don't even see the point in creating it, even though I'm willing to help people incorporate. Yeah. Not very clear. But yeah, there is this distinction between sexualness that apparently I deal with, and the other money thing and gift something, and then I'm feeling like I am not enough, that I can't bring value to these people incorporates.
So what is the difference between receiving sexualness and receiving money?
Well, for me, I can feel the energy of this sexualness, but I can't feel the energy of money.
Okay. So what would it take to feel the energy of money?
A friend of mine asked me that question, not exactly, but about this energy and money, and what would it take? I could not answer him, but I know it's an energy, or I mentally know it's an energy, and I'm disconnected from it. I don't know. Well,
what if you get to choose what it feels like? Like, what if it's not something that is external to you? So what if you could say, hey, you know what? I'm going to say that receiving money is the same energy as receiving sexualness. You know, like, just because you get to choose what that is. It's not an external thing. So if you don't separate from money, then you can choose what that energy is like for you. And since sexualness is really ease for you, I would just put it as part of that.
Okay.
And then when you're receiving sexualness, you can also be aware of how much more money you can receive and what else might be possible, because that energy is very tangible for you.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah. So anything that doesn't allow you to be with money in that sense, to perceive the money in that way with ease and joy and glory, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. And then it might be something where you want to play with that a few times a day. So when you think about money or you think about sex, you know, that you bring the two in together. So if you're, all of a sudden you're thinking about money, it's like, no, okay, bring in the sexualness, be present with that, be the oneness with money, play with that and intensify it all. Or you're thinking about sex or you're having sex, bring in money and intensify it that way, so that there's more of, kind of in a sense, like an energy with money that really lights you up instead of goes, ugh.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Lenise,
Yes, darling.
something came up for me when Alan was talking. It's not the question I thought I would have asked today, and it just popped for me. I remember when we were kids and my two little sisters, and we would be running around and having so much fun and just get laughing and just laugh and play. And my mom, as they have these sayings in the day and still do, she'd always say to us, that much laugh, that much cry. And then something would happen. One of us would get hurt, and it was just like, wow, she was right. Is that still stopping me from receiving joy? And I think it's yes.
I was just going to say, so truth is it?
How do I get that out of there? Because I didn't even remember that till it just popped and came up.
Yeah. Yeah. So what was she really doing? Like when she was saying that, what was she really saying? What was she really doing for you guys?
Maybe thinking she was protecting us because something really would happen if we had too much fun.
Well, and I wonder if it was a form of protection, not so much because something would really happen, but just so that, she maybe once was a young child that had a lot of joy and a lot of laughter, and then it was ripped away from her, or, something happened. So then she didn't want you guys to have that same disappointment. So this way she's setting you up to go, okay, know that this is, you can have this joy, but that it will be followed by, by upset. As a way of caring for you guys, even though it doesn't sound very caring, that probably was a really kind and caring thing from where she was coming from.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So everywhere that you took that on and everywhere you've been validating her reality with it since, will you destroy and uncreate all that and return it to sender with consciousness?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, battle, night, walk, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Yeah. And it's really never about like, oh, well, it's always joy or it's always sadness or it's, it's never even about kind of, in a sense, like she was doing, defining them. It's like knowing that with the mantra, all of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. You can actually choose. Like no matter what's going on, you can actually choose how you're being in that situation. So everywhere you've turned the joy down so that you didn't get disappointed or you weren't hurt or you weren't upset or all of that, we just destroy and uncreate it all, return to center with consciousness.
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, battle, limp, buck, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And all of the definitions that you've used about joy and sadness and upset and what you should and the amount that you should have and the amount you can't have and the amount that's going to be a problem and all of that, we destroy and uncreate it all times a gazillion.
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, battle, limp, buck, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And Alan in England is saying, so funny. My mother used to say something similar. There'll be tears before bedtime if you don't calm down. Yeah, so all of those phrases that were said to us when we were being all of us, which is a way to control us to stop being all of us, we just destroy and uncreate all of the Shiku implants and explants and return them to center with consciousness. Right, wrong, good, battle, and line, papak, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yes, Miss Sharon?
Hi.
Hi, honey.
Finally, I get on after half an hour. Thank you very much for that. That's something I got to figure out. So when you were talking about the autopilot, receiving an autopilot, something just really kind of just jumps at me. So, because you're right. I mean, when I do things, I don't automatically think about, I don't even think about what my point of view is. I just am just doing what I'm doing. And so these things don't even enter my head. So I believe that you said that what you would do is just start asking all the time for everything. How much can I receive from this? How much can I receive from that? How much can I receive from whatever? Is that kind of how my awareness is not there, that I'm not even aware that I'm on autopilot, you know what I mean? So
yeah, I think the question, I might have said that, Sharon, and as you said it, I'm like, actually, I think the question would be, what would it take to receive even more here?
Okay.
Because then we're actually asking for what we truly desire, was like, what would it take to receive more? So yeah, you're right. So that you don't have to figure out when you're on autopilot, because when you're on autopilot, it's hard to figure that out. So if you're kind of every time you go to do something different, you know, you're sitting at your desk at work or whatever, you're doing whatever at work and you're going to change the task, okay, what would it take to receive even more from this? Or you're at home on your computer and then you're going to turn the TV on, what would it take to receive even more from this? You know, just kind of getting into the habit of asking it all the time so that you're reminding yourself that you don't have to receive on autopilot. You actually can choose to receive even more.
Okay, great. Yeah, that's exactly, because that's it. There is so much of an autopilot, and I didn't even realize that we're receiving on autopilot. I know I'm on autopilot a lot because you go to work and you sit there and you do whatever you do, and it's the same thing basically you've been doing or whatever. And a lot of things, just driving to work, you know, you space out or whatever because you're on autopilot. I get that, but it's totally a new ballgame here when you're saying that we're receiving on autopilot. So we've set this, because of our points of view, we've already set the tone of what we're receiving, and we're not even aware that we're doing that. So and then we wonder why we're not receiving. So it's like, wow. Yeah, I had an accident with my bicycle yesterday.
Oh.
And, so while I'm trying to get on the computer, I kept saying, even this morning when I got up, I said, or as soon as once I noticed your email this morning, I haven't been getting your emails at all, by the way. I've only been getting, the only reason I found out about this class is I happened to see somebody else's email about Step the Fuck Up website. So I went on that on the Facebook page and found the class there, and then so I went backwards. But anyway, I just said, well, how much more can I receive from my bicycle?
Nice. Yes.
I punctured my leg, so part of my bicycle jammed into my leg, so it's not very, I'm just horrendously, it's a mess, but I'm asking, so how much more can I receive from this bicycle? And from going through all this process, because it was like, I didn't really get into the trauma and drama, and I'm pretty happy that I didn't go around today and say, oh, you know what I did yesterday, except that I am now right here, so there you go. But yeah. Anyway, thank you for the receiving. I'm going to definitely start asking that question. I'm going to write it out on a page or put it on my phone and have it pop up all the time, so it reminds me to ask that question. How much more can I receive for that from this?
What would it take to receive even more here?
What would it take to receive even more? Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, and how many definitions are we using to keep receiving on autopilot? Everything that is, or destroy and create all times a godzillion, right, wrong, good, bad, online, puck, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And how many barriers can you drop to receive more than you've never even imagined receiving? Right, wrong, good, bad, online, puck, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And then really, at least for myself, the best indicator is when I'm, in an interaction with somebody or something or doing something, and I'm aware that those barriers come up. As soon as those barriers come up, then I know, hey, I'm blocking receiving here, or there's something going on. I shouldn't say I'm blocking receiving because that's kind of defining it, but I know for me that there's something going on. So then it's like, okay, stop. Barriers down, and then I look at whatever that is, and I talked about this, I think last week on the radio show where, hubby was upset about something and just in his talking to me about it, he wasn't upset with me, but just in his talking about it with me, he was being an energy that I, in the past, have had a really hard time being around. And it's just mostly because it's an energy I defined growing up as wrong and bad. Like there's an anger energy to it, and there's an upset and a kind of, and I kind of just, like it's just like, no, I don't want to be around this. And in the past, I would have just left the room. I mean, not while he was mid-sentence or anything, but it just would have been like, no, this needs to stop, and left. And I realized for probably the first time last week was like, one, I was taking it personal. That's a lot of the stuff that comes up like with that energy for me, just because I've got so many definitions around that energy. And usually that definition of that energy for me, especially when I was younger, was it was my fault. that person was being that energy because of something I did. That was my crazy. It wasn't ever true, and it never is true. Other people choose what they choose because they choose it. They might say it's our fault or we made them do it, but it's not true. And so same with that energy. And it was like, no, I don't need to take it personal. This has nothing to do with me. And it would actually create more for me to stay present with him through it than to walk away. Because of walking away, and again, the radio show I did last week was when we pull our energy out of people or situations or whatever. And it's like, I would have always walked away before, in a sense, to pull my energy out to teach him how not to be around me. God, that sounds like such a horrific superior bitch, but that's what I would choose. And so last week when I kind of saw it so clearly and just went, no, actually, no, he can be that. He has the right to be that. He can choose to be that. Who am I to say he shouldn't be? And it's not directed at me. It has nothing to do with me. So the more present that I could be with him with that, the more I could receive of it. And by receive, I don't mean it comes in and it stays. I mean, I was receiving it. So the energy was coming through. Like it wasn't the act of like, I've got to hang on to it. I've got to fix it for him. Again, I'd have done that in the past also. It was just like, no, okay, this is what he's delivering. So this energy goes, and I don't even mean like it has to come in and through me. I don't even mean like that's how we receive. That's a kind of just a visual of it. But it's like I didn't have to put a barrier up to it. I didn't have to make it personal. And the willingness to be present with it and not walk away actually created the space that was required to create more. So if you want to really look at those energies that you're not willing to receive, now it could be kindness, this doesn't mean just people who are, say angry, but there's other energies too that might surprise you. Maybe somebody wants to tell you how amazing you are. Maybe somebody cries when they meet you because they're so grateful to meet you. Maybe somebody wants to tell you just how much they adore you. Are you willing to receive those things? Again, just paying attention in your everyday life. What energy comes and what energy do you put up a barrier to? A lot of people can receive that anger energy really well, but it's the kindness energy that they put the barrier up to. And it doesn't matter. You just want to be aware of it for you so that you can destroy it and create it, clear the definitions of whatever that energy is, and drop those barriers and ask, what would it take to receive even more with this right now? Because it's those energies that are usually probably also on autopilot. Of, okay, well, whenever somebody's angry, then I don't receive that. Or whenever somebody's, over the top happy, I don't receive that. Or whatever it might be, like where we have all of those definitions instead of what if you could receive it all? And you didn't have to add a story. Okay, that person's choosing anger because they're choosing anger. That person's choosing to be, mean because they're choosing to be mean. But usually we go, well, that person's mean because I blah, blah, blah. And that's when we're not receiving, because we're going into definition, we're justifying it, we're making sense of it, and then we're basing how much we can receive based on those justifications. Everything Matt just brought up, way to start and create it all, return to center with consciousness. Right, wrong, good, bad, online, portraits, boys and beyonds. So finish with an energy pull for receiving. Is there any other questions before we go to that, guys? Okay. So let's, even before we do the energy pull, let's do some energetic contributions. And again, I will put the link to the radio show about these in there, because if you're not familiar with this, I just want to make, so Julie, sorry, Julie, I missed it. She says, I get, you don't want to get too big for your boots. Yeah, right? Like there's so many things that are said to us as kids, or then maybe we carry them on and we say them to our family as we get older because they were said to us. And so you want to be really aware of the things you say, but also be aware of the things that play in your head. Or even like Ellen or Alan, we're both from childhood had these things said. And Ellen, I mean, she hasn't thought of this for a long time. Those things that just kind of really we do operate our life based on them. And when they pop in, that to me is such a gift, because then we can clear them. Once we have the awareness, then we can clear it. So all of those things, like you don't want to get too big for your boots, or, you know, there'll be tears before bedtime if you don't calm down, all of that stuff. We just destroy and uncreate all that, return it to center with consciousness. Right, wrong, good, bad, online, box, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Okay, so let's on 3. So if you'd like to join us with your hands, you're certainly welcome to, but you don't have to. We're basically just kind of energetically contributing by throwing our hands, but you can do it without throwing your hands too. So on 3, we destroy and create all of the lies, the limitations, the definitions, the points of views, the autopilots, the everything that you've ever used, the mimicking, to ensure that you don't receive infinitely. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And on 5, we destroy and create all of the algorithms that you've used, created, or had impelled upon you to ensure that you don't receive infinitely. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And on 6, we destroy and create all of the past memories, past lifetimes, oaths, vows, commitments, contracts, anything that I haven't mentioned that you have, to never receiving infinitely. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. And on 9, will you kill all of the lies, the limitations, the mimicking, the definitions, the energies, anything that you've ever used to stop you from receiving infinitely? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. And on 4, we destroy and uncreate all of the solidified futures that you've created based on not receiving infinitely. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And on 10, will you add the energy of add the energy of photon wavelength. So you be the infinite being you truly be, with infinite receiving. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. And on 7, will you add the energy of magic and miracle anywhere it's required on the planet? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Whew. How does it get any better than that? And I will clip that audio out also, so that you can have that just to listen to on its own if you wish. Yes, Alan. He's receiving a workout for his arms also. Oh, okay, so then let's do the energy pull for infinite receiving. Okay, so as long as it's safe to do so, close your eyes and become really present with your sweet body. Maybe even saying, "Hi, sweet body." Becoming present with your toes and your ankles and your calves and your knees and your hips and your tummy and your shoulders and your spine and your neck, up to the top of your head, to the tips of your ears, down to the tips of your fingertips. And then expanding out into all of you, and then into the room that you're in, into the state or province that you're in, into the entire country that you're in, and then expanding out into the entire earth. Going all the way down to the center of Mother Earth, that beautiful dirt crystal energy, and then expanding even farther than that, going up to the countries, the oceans, the people, the buildings, the animals, the cars, all the way up to the sky, and then expanding out into all of you as the infinite being you truly be. Yeah, noticing that everywhere you go, there you are, expanding out millions and godzillions of miles and miles and miles, expanding out farther than you've ever expanded in any lifetime. And then get a sense in front of you of what your life and living would be like if you were receiving infinitely. Just get a sense of what your life and living would be like if you were the infinite receiver that you truly be. What would your money flows be like? What would your relationship with your body be like? What would your business or career be like? What would your relationships be like? What would you create on the planet if you were the infinite receiver that you truly be? And now intensify that energy. Make it way bigger than you. And now pull universal energy into that energy. Pull it through that energy into your heart, out through your back. Once again, into that energy, into your heart, out through your back. And this time as you pull the universal energy into that energy, everything your life and living would be like, as the infinite receiver you truly be, pull all of that energy and the universal energy into your entire body and being, so that you be the oneness that you be as the infinite receiver that you truly be. So that you are congruent with a magical life and living as an infinite receiver, where you have no barriers, no limitations, no definitions. You are the oneness. You are infinite receiving. And if there's anywhere in your body and being that you're not congruent with it, just to start and create that energy and be congruent with it. And then pull the universal energy out through the back of you, cycle it around again in the front of you, and out through the back of you. And this time allow it to trickle out into billions and godzillions of threads of energy. And allow those threads of energy to go through every person, place, thing, event, experience, energy, everything I haven't even mentioned, that is going to co-create this magical living with you, where you receive infinitely with every breath you take. Pulling those threads of energy through all of them, pulling all of those threads of energy into you, and allowing them to go out through your back once again, and allowing them to trickle out into the godzillions of people and places and things, events, experiences, energies, everything that will co-create this magic with you. Pulling it through them, and this time as you pull it through them, send the message energetically. It is time for you to follow the energy to me now. I am ready to be the infinite receiver that I truly be. I am ready to live a magical life. I am ready. Gently and potently pulling all of those universal threads of energy into you and through you, once again allowing them to trickle out. And now just allow them to cycle around. So you're pulling in through, you, through all of that yummy energy, you're sending it out into all the people, places, things, events, experiences. And then around, back into you. And just allow it to cycle around. So you continue to cycle it while I run some clearings. So what energy, space, and consciousness can you and your body be to be the infinite receiving you truly be? Anything that doesn't allow that to show up as if by magic, we destroy and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, puck, puck, shorts, boys, and beyonds. What energy, space, and consciousness can you and your body be to be the infinite magic and infinite miracle walking that you truly be? Anything that doesn't allow that to show up as if by magic, destroy and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, puck, shorts, boys, and beyonds. What energy, space, and consciousness can you and your body be to be the oneness that you truly be? Anything that doesn't allow that to show up as if by magic, destroy and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, puck, shorts, boys, and beyonds. What energy, space, and consciousness can you and your body be to infinitely receive everything you've never even imagined possible receiving with ease and joy and glory? Anything that doesn't allow that to show up as if by magic, destroy and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, puck, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And now give the energy pull permission to run on its own so that it's continuously co-creating magic with you. And give it permission to let you know when it requires your attention. So if you think of it later or tomorrow or whenever, that you just tap back into it, be present with it, pull some more energy, so that you can be the infinite receiving that you truly be. And everything and everyone that can co-create that with you will show up as if by magic. Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, puck, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And then whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. Yay, how does it get any better than that? Gosh. Yum. Super awesome, Alan says. Yay. Well, thanks guys so much for coming to play. I am so grateful for all of you. The recording will go into your account probably in the next few hours. The clearings and the split out audios will probably be a day or two before they get put in there, but just, and I will send an email once it's all in there, but just know if you want the call sooner than that, just check in your account in a couple hours. Once I get it from Zoom, I'll get it in there. So you guys are very welcome. Thank you. Mwah! Have an awesome rest of your day or evening or afternoon or whatever it may be for you. And I look forward to playing with you soon. Bye, guys.